Howdy folks, and welcome back to another episode of Tyria Talk. My name is Richie, and this show is all about Guild Wars 2. Today is episode number 17, and today we have a special episode because we are talking about the beta invite process for Guild Wars 2 and also no more queuing. So let's get into the topic. Yesterday, they had a very special announcement. ArenaNet announced that the beta application process is now open. You have 48 hours as of yesterday, so only like 24 hours left to get onto their website and sign up for the beta. It only takes about 5 minutes. You have to install a tiny little program to kind of judge your system specs. You send that in, you answer a few questions, and boom, your application has now been submitted. I'll put a link below so you can know where to sign up. So you click that. You only have about a day left to do this. Once you submit it, then it's just a waiting game. You have to then wait for an email to come back from ArenaNet that confirms that they've got your application, but at that point, you just have to wait like everybody else. They're going to be announcing some beta events. All right, probably not going to start until sometime in March, but there are going to be some beta events where you can get an invite to. You know, we don't know a lot about how they're going to select people or whatnot, but you check your email, and I'm guessing that you're not going to have some sort of big open beta thing for this game. I mean, a lot of MMOs that have been coming out have kind of not really been doing this, where they just allow anybody who wants to go in. That's a true open beta. And it's probably not going to be even a closed beta where they just give you unlimited access to the game. I think it's going to be kind of like the press beta where they said, hey, here's a couple-day window, maybe like a weekend, Friday to Sunday or something like that, where you can kind of go in and check out the game. And they're going to have multiple events. And just because you get into one, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get into any subsequent ones. Now, so this is very exciting news. People have been waiting a long time. When can I get my hands on this game? And for some of us, some people will be invited and some people won't, but it's going to be very soon. Now, here's one thing that, if you've never been into a beta before, there is going to be a non-disclosure agreement that you have to sign in order to participate in the beta. And you're going to have to read this carefully. Now, judging by the FAQ that they have on the site already, it looks like it's going to be a pretty strict one where you can't even acknowledge that you're in the beta or not. All right, and certainly you're not going to be able to post screenshots. You're not going to be able to post videos or anything like that to kind of show what you're being able to see in that. And I just urge people, really, have some respect for ArenaNet and don't be a jerk. If you get invited to it, then enjoy it for yourself, kind of get the information, for yourself, but don't break the NDA. Now, this is going to be completely different than the press beta that was last weekend. Press was able to post video footage. They were able to talk about it and acknowledge that they were in it and whatnot. This is a different ball of wax. Read the non-disclosure agreement when you get it before you go blabbing all over the place. Okay, that's just my little soapbox statement there, because I can't stand leaks. Anyway, so that's that. It's pretty exciting stuff, and I look forward to, hopefully getting some sort of invite into there. Now, I was able to get some footage from Massively.com of the press beta that I rolled into a trailer type video. So that was posted on my YouTube channel. Hopefully some people saw it. But I got some new followers out of that. So if this is the first time you're seeing one of my Tyria Talks, hello new followers. Thanks so much for signing up and subscribing. I really appreciate it. And the other thing I'd like to discuss today is a little bit of news. It got some press, but not a lot of people are talking about it. And I think this is pretty cool. Basically, ArenaNet posted on the Guru forums. There is a new kind of technology that they have, which is an Overflow server kind of mechanic, so that they can get rid of the queuing that normally happens at the beginning of an MMO launch. Now, what happens is servers fill up, and then you go to log into the game, and you're so excited. It's a brand new game, and I just want to get in and play it. Oh, and I'm now 500th person in queue, and I got to wait an hour or so to get into the game. And it's a source of frustration for people, but it's something we've come to expect. What some people can do is they re-roll a new character, or they decide, oh, let's go to this lower population server or this lower queue to get in. And what happens with that is once the hype of the first few weeks kind of starts to die down, and people aren't crowding and trying to get in all at the same time, those lower population servers can become like a ghost town. Like there's not a lot of people there, and that's actually a problem. So you almost want to wait the hour to get in because you know that in a couple weeks it gets better. I mean, this happened with Star Wars: The Old Republic. overall the queues weren't too bad, but there were some servers with an hour plus queue, 2 hours on some servers that I saw. I waited about 40 minutes one night or whatever. But now that we're a couple months out, there's no queues at all. So you want to be, so it's kind of like a problem with a lot of MMOs, and then the developer is in a position where they see all these queues and all these people screaming, I can't get in, and what do? They open up a bunch of new servers so that can kind of relieve that pressure. But again, down the road it comes to this ghost town thing, and you don't want empty servers. That's just a bad sign. So anyway, this overflow server mechanic that Guild Wars 2 is putting in, it seems amazing. What they do is, if you're going into your server and it's full, instead of just waiting in a queue, they actually put you in on an overflow server. So you get into your game on your character, and you can play on this overflow server. When your turn in the queue for your real server comes up, it actually does a pop-up and says, would you like to transfer to your server now? And you can say yes. And any items that you accumulated, any experience points you accumulated, that all transfers over. So it's kind of like you can play while you wait to get on your server. You can check out your inventory and clean things out. You can go questing, get experience points, gain items, explore, do all these different things. Now, one thing that's not clear, because we don't know a lot of information about it, is, and one of the potential snags I can see is, can you do things in an instance while you're in this? Like, if you're in a midway through a dungeon and your server pops, it says you can go to your server now, and you transfer over, are you going to be able to be in the same spot in that dungeon, or does that take you out of the dungeon? Same thing with a competitive PvP match, or even world versus world. How does that work? Because you're supposed to be server versus server versus server on that, but now you're on an overflow server. My guess is that you might not be able to do world versus world at all, because that's kind of clunky. But I could be wrong. And my guess for a dungeon or for competitive PvP is, if you transfer to your server at that point, you're going to be out of the dungeon or out of the competitive PvP at that point. Maybe they can overcome those obstacles and just make it seamless, or maybe they'll prevent those things entirely and just say, hey, you can play in the normal world. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But in any of those scenarios, it's better than this, most MMOs where you're just sitting in a queue, staring and waiting. 543, 542, 541, and so on. So it's, I think it's going to be fantastic. I love this approach, and the side benefit to this. I mean, obviously, from the consumer's end, from the player's end, it's just great. You eliminate a lot of the frustration. But from ArenaNet's end, it allows them to really precisely predict how many servers do we need. Okay, they don't have that pressure of people screaming, I can't get in. They don't have to add a whole bunch of servers just for that. They can kind of view how many people are going to these overflow servers, and then they can kind of say, all right, yes, we need another server because, these overflow servers are always full or something like that. But they can pinpoint it, and that will lead to a lot less of these server population challenged servers, these ghost towns that I was talking about earlier. And that's going to be really important for ArenaNet to avoid. They don't want to have these dead servers because of the world versus world mechanic, or the feature. This is going to draw a lot of people into the game, having these 2-week-long battles, server versus server versus server. And if you have these servers with just low population, low interest in the game kind of thing, it's gonna impact the world versus world. So it's important for them to have this tool so that they can actually accurately predict how many servers do we really need. So kudos to them. I wanted to kind of talk about it because I think it's something that I think it's going to be very, very instrumental in the successful launch of Guild Wars 2, and I'm excited about it. It's cool. I think eventually what MMOs are moving more towards is actually not having servers at all. I mean, World of Warcraft is already, there's really not much to distinguish a server from another server in World of Warcraft, because you can now, you can do PvP across different servers. You can actually do raids across servers. You can actually team up with your real ID friends and different things, and you can actually form groups cross server and do different things. And pretty soon you're going to be able to have achievements and mounts and pets that are account based. So they go across all your characters across all servers. So really it's getting more towards that model where it doesn't matter which server you're on. And I think there will be MMOs at some point where you can just play with anybody. And it's just a serverless thing, and I think that's a good thing for for the genre overall. There's already kind of technology in place that kind of do that. There's games like Star Wars and even Guild Wars 1 and different things where you actually have districts or shards or different slices of the same zone. So you might be on the same server, but you're on that map that you're on, there's too many players, so it actually splits it into chunks. So there'll be District 1, District 2, or Channel 1, Channel 2, or something like that. So you just talk to your friends, which channel are you in, and you swap. You're still on the same server, but, they slice it up like that. So the technology is there. It's just we need to see the MMO that actually takes that jump. But I think that, this is a cool approach, having this overflow, this virtual server thing. And I also like that ArenaNet took the approach of, we're going to actually make servers a thing. We're going to make it an interesting gameplay around servers by having the world versus world. So I think ultimately we'll go to some sort of serverless thing, and I think that would be a really cool thing. But I like ArenaNet's implementation of this. So what do you guys think? Are you signing up for the beta? What are your expectations for it? And also, what do you think of this no more QQing at the beginning of the launch for Guild Wars 2? Leave me a comment below or ask any questions. I try to respond to as many as I can. I appreciate everyone I get. I do read them all. And also, click on the subscribe link up top so that you can be notified when future videos are released. Share my videos with others, give them a thumbs up, and I appreciate everything that you guys do to help me grow my channel. You can contact me on Facebook and on Twitter and on Google+. I'll put all the links down below, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.